Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 6th ever episode of Soldrek. I'm here with my guest, Ante Kovacic.
How are you guys doing? I'm Ante. I'm blessed to be here. Thank you for having me here, Jerry.
Of course. Me and Ante go way back,
We do indeed.
and we'll get into that. But first, let's get into who Ante is, right?
Yeah.
So, Ante, what do you currently do right now?
So I currently attend the Cleveland State University. I'm taking a number of prerequisites. I'm trying to get into the nursing program. Obviously, it's very difficult, but I'm doing my best. So hopefully I get into the nursing program. In addition to that, I work at the Discount Drug Mart. I've been there for about a year and a half now. It's good. The coworkers are really nice. I'm making money, so it's all going good.
So, what is college life like at Cleveland State? Because you commute.
Yeah, I commute. Yeah, so it's nothing special. Some people try to make it like, oh, it's like this big thing, but it's kind of just like school to me. It's not a big deal. It's just studying. Learning, studying, all that. But in addition to that, there's a lot of ladies there you can meet. You can make a lot of friends. I just met a girl. I asked her out. She's going out with me. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
So, what was the inspiration behind you getting into nursing?
Well, I know a couple people who are nurses and who are getting into that I was really good friends with. And, one thing that really impacted me was my grandmother. She sadly passed away April of 2023, the day after Easter, due to cancer. And when she got sick, I wish that I knew what to do. I wanted to help her. And she even convinced me, I should, because originally I wanted to be a doctor. But then I kind of thought, because you have to go, it's like 10 years of school and other stuff. And I saw nursing was, obviously not the same, but kind of similar. And, I wanted to, help people. I felt bad seeing people ill and in the hospitals. I wanted to be there to help them,
Yeah, that's really impactful. That's awesome. So, one thing we could get into right away, because you mentioned college. There's a funny story behind you getting into college, isn't there?
Is there?
The moment I helped you get in. So this
Yeah,
goes
that's right.
back to our days of hanging out back in high school. So if you've tuned in a previous podcast, you know that we all congregated in an area called campus ministry, and we had a whole giant group in there that would hang out every day. And all of us were slowly getting into our dream colleges. And we had all heard back from many places. And Cleveland State was a place that got back to people really quickly. It only took a week or two, and we were a few months in. And so Ante kept checking his email, and we were like, Ante, there's no way you didn't hear back from them yet. And what had happened was Ante didn't actually apply to any colleges at this point.
I didn't realize that I didn't. I thought I had, but
We had these things called green slips that we had to turn into our college counselors. And what those did was, I think it was just for the department's sake to let them know where we were applying to so they could send their letters of recommendation to the colleges. But Ante thought that was the entire application. So we spent an entire lunch recess period helping you submit your college applications. And then ultimately you did get into Cleveland
Yeah.
State just a little later than you expected.
I'm really appreciative that, I realized what was happening, that you told me what happened, that you helped me out. Because if it wasn't for you, I don't think I would be in college right now.
Right. So, yeah, I could take credit for that. But, yeah, that was a little funny thing that happened. How's Drug Mart going? What's that like on a day-to-day basis?
Well, like I said, the coworkers are really nice. It usually gets really busy because, our motto is we save you the runaround. So usually people come over to Drug Mart more than they do, Giant Eagle or anywhere else. And so it's always constantly busy, but it's a good experience. Obviously, I've had a bunch of rude customers here and there, but I've had some good memories there too. Actually, the other day I was working. There's this one lady, I believe her name's Jennifer. She comes in like almost every day, so I always say hi to her. And her partner was with her. Well, keep in mind she's like 40-something, right? Her husband or boyfriend, whatever her partner was with her. So I said hi to her, and the guy just started like acting all tough. I guess he thought I was trying to hit on her or something. So he was trying to be all like a tough guy and everything. He's like, you better stay away from my girl. Don't be saying anything. She's doing good. Don't be talking to her. I don't know. So I guess he was trying to scare me. I mean, I didn't get scared. I was just like, yeah, fine, whatever, man. Sorry. So, but it's like, why? I was just saying hi. Like, you don't have to get all tough.
People in Cleveland can get crazy.
I know.
And I've come to visit you at work before.
Yeah, you have.
And you introduced me to a lot of your coworkers. It seems like you're, pretty close. You have a little friend group going on there.
Yeah, one of my favorite coworkers, his name is Ricardo. He's Brazilian. He's a really nice guy. Usually when I work, I'm on register, but I do get my fair share of, stock shifts. So usually when I'm stock, me and Ricardo will go, do whatever stock shelves. We'll go check the toilet paper, the paper aisle to see if we need to bring anything from the back room over. We check there's these water jugs. Usually those get drained out, so we have to go restock those. So we do all kinds of stuff. And I actually try to invite him over to my place because we found out that we both like to watch the UFC. You know what the UFC is, right?
Oh yeah.
So
Dana White, baby.
We both love this one fighter named Stipe Miocic. He's actually here from Cleveland. He just had a big fight a few weeks ago against a guy named John Jones. He got absolutely demolished.
They say John Jones is the new GOAT.
Huh?
They say John Jones is the new GOAT.
Yeah,
or at least
I know.
Dana says that. But Stipe was the GOAT for the longest time.
We had our fair share of, laughs. He always told us a lot of funny stories and stuff. So he's the best guy ever. But
well, yeah, you got to meet him one time, didn't you?
yeah, obviously.
There's a picture of little Ante, and he's holding the championship belt.
Yeah.
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 So that's pretty cool. The register seems pretty laid back at Drug Mart.
It is.
Because we have a Snapchat group chat for our campus ministry group. And there's been a few times where we've done group FaceTimes, and you've picked up at work.
Yeah, because we have, so most of the managers are chill. They don't really care if you're on your phone, even though there's papers saying you can't be on your phone. But there are these two managers. I'm not going to say their names, for privacy, but these two managers are very strict. Usually they don't work when I work. It's usually the chill managers that work when I'm scheduled to come in, so they don't really care if I'm on my phone, so that's why I joined the FaceTime.
Yeah, it's always a good time when you do. We'll do a little game. If I hear the cash register starting to beep, that means items are being scanned, and I'll just yell out a random number. Usually my go-to is to start is about 1734, and Ante will tell me if I was correct or not on
he actually
guessing the
came
price.
very close. He came within, I believe it was 75 cents or 80 cents from the actual price.
Yeah, so that's a little fun game we get to play occasionally. But yeah, Drug Mart seems like a great place to work.
It is.
Maybe we should get in a little bit of how we met, because we've mentioned the whole campus ministry part of it. But me and you kind of joined campus ministry, I think, junior year.
Yeah,
before that,
year.
Before that, we were our own little group.
Yeah, we actually met in English class, and I went over there. I introduced myself. We got put into a couple of groups for a couple of the projects and activities that we did, and then we just started, hanging out like a crap ton after that.
Yeah, it was every lunch period, every class we had together, all free time, everything. It was just me and Ante basically for the first 2 years of school. We would do everything together. We go study in the library together. There was one time, it's one of my favorite memories. I still don't know why Ante did this. But Ante had an empty bag of Haribo fruit snacks in his bag. And we are in a quiet library studying. And I just hear the crinkling. He unzips the front of his backpack, pulls out this nicely folded up empty wrapper, unfolds it, and then you just hear the loudest, longest sniff you've ever heard in your life, followed by an ah. And then he folded it up back nicely and put it back in his bag. And I made you do it again so that I could get it on video.
That's right. I don't know. I used to do a lot of weird stuff because I have a weird sense of humor. I thought that I was being funny, but
Oh, it's hilarious, and that's really where our friendship came from. Is I just thought Ante was hilarious, dude. He was just a goofball, and it was just so much fun to hang out with. And that's what our whole friendship was built off, basically. And then it branched off from hanging out in school to then going and hanging out at your house and stuff. The first time we hung out outside of school, I think, was your birthday party freshman year. And I remember that was a big deal because I wasn't allowed outside the house because it was during COVID.
oh yeah.
But we all got to go to your house and hang out, play some basketball outside, hang out inside, play some video games, some Madden. And, that was really great. And then it's just all continued from there.
Speaking of that party, there was this one kid I used to be friends with. He was at the party. I was playing Madden against him. His name is Lazar.
You're calling him out?
Yeah. We're not friends anymore, but we were playing Madden. And he was winning by like 2-3 touchdowns for like most of the game. And it came down to, I believe he had like a 5-point lead, something like that. And there was like 20 seconds left. And he's on a second down. He decided to punt it to me.
Yeah, he punted it when he didn't have to.
So then I ran down the clock and I just Hail Married it for the win. The dude got up and wound back and punched my wall. Now there's a massive hole, so I had to put this giant like poster to cover it up.
Yeah, he got cocky that he was gonna win, and then when he lost, he just put a hole in the wall. We couldn't believe it.
I was speechless. I just was not expecting, because I've known Lazar since I was in like the first grade. And he never did anything like that. I didn't expect him to be the type of person to, get pissed off and break some.
Right. But yeah, me and Ante would just kick it. And eventually got to a point, it was either end of sophomore year or beginning of junior year. And we had a mutual friend, Peter, who was playing pool in campus ministry. And because they had a mini pool table we'd all play. Me and Ante saw it and they were like, oh, let's just go try it out. And then before you knew it,
we were just playing it all the time.
Yeah, we were just part of this whole new group. And then I got my car. That was the big thing because then the whole group started hanging out outside of school. We'd go to Cavs games, Browns games, you name it. We'd just go drive around, listen to music. One of the best nights I think we ever had was me and Ante hanging out. And we were just driving around late at night. And we started just playing old white girl music from like the 2010s. And then it started to get into more like, I don't even know what kind of music you call it, just passionate music.
Yeah.
Like Another One, or not Another One, Another Love. Careless Whispers. That's our favorite.
Every time we hang out, we just put on Careless Whisper like at the end of the night and we just start jamming out to it.
Yeah,
we just shit ever.
Belt it at the top of our lungs.
You do.
It's so much fun. But yeah, speaking on that music note, you do music, Ante.
I do music. So, I actually have my own band. We are called Zlatni Hrvati. That is, we are a Croatian band. The title of our band translates to the Golden Croatians. We got into the band because we realized, me and my boys, we all liked music. And we decided, so we have some friends who are in a band. So then we got excited. We were like, "Ooh, what if we start our own band?" So we started. It was actually at the beginning of this year, back in January. We formed the band, and eventually we got our first gig. We were excited. We practiced like hella, like a lot, and so we had the gig. It wasn't bad. Obviously, it was our first time, so we made like a bunch of mistakes. I don't think anyone could hear it, because they were just jamming out, but. So now we're constantly getting swamped, getting so many gigs, and we get paid pretty well for it. It's a blast. I'm the lead singer, so I'm honored to be in that position. And then we got a drummer. My brother's the drummer. We have an electric guitarist, a bass guitarist, a keyboard, and then an accordion. So it's a fun time, man.
Yeah, it's awesome, and it's all within the family, right? Or is there family friends as well?
Yeah, family friends as well.
Yeah, because you guys are big into your Croatian heritage, because your parents are first generation immigrants from Croatia.
My mom is. My dad was actually born here in the U.S. in Lakewood. And then my mom was born in Croatia, and so she was like 5 years old when that whole war happened, between Croatia and Serbia when Serbia invaded. So she still, has PTSD from it. But my dad eventually went back there. He met her. Obviously, they dated, went through all that. They got married. They moved back here to Lakewood, and I was born here, so I've been living here my whole life.
Yeah, sweet. But yeah, you guys very big on your Croatian heritage.
We are.
You're a big fan of, like the soccer, or you might say football team.
Yeah.
You got flags all over the house. You were heartbroken when Messi beat you in the World Cup.
I was heartbroken. Yeah, I remember Croatia was playing Brazil. I believe me and Jerry were in campus ministry, right?
Yeah.
I think we were campus ministry watching the game. My teacher that I had in the class before I went on my lunch, he put on the game.
Danny Crew?
Who was it? No, it wasn't Danny Crew.
Oh, I'm surprised. He had every game
I
on.
can't remember who it was. But anyways, so then we were watching. Oh, it was, what's his name? He was the I think it was Galloway.
Galloway?
Was his name, yeah. And he put on the game we're watching, and the game went into extra time. Croatia got scored on, and I was just heartbroken, We were doing so good, and we got scored on. So then I went down to campus ministry for lunch. I put it on, and I heard cheering, so I went over into the lunchroom. They had the game on there. I had seen that Croatia tied it up. And like when I walked in, everyone saw me because I was wearing my Croatia jersey. So everyone just got up and started cheering and chanting for me. It was awesome. And then I was just in there watching. We were watching the penalties. Everyone was cheering with me. Croatia won. Dude, we all just started going nuts. It was amazing.
That was a really good moment.
And then Messi, the GOAT, came in and knocked us out. I was left heartbroken. It sucked. But then when we graduated, when we had our graduation, one of our senior buddies, classmates, his name's Bobby Stark, he was giving a speech, and he was talking about dreams coming true, and he brought up how my dream came true when Croatia knocked out Brazil in the World Cup. So I was not expecting it because I'm there, waiting to graduate, and then he brings up me watching the Croatia game, so that was very nice.
Yeah, that was a great moment because very few people got shout-outs from that, 400-person class?
Yeah.
So the fact that he brought up that exact memory, that was very funny. It was a great time.
And then I just heard, when he brought it up, I just heard my cousin all the way in the crowd scream really loud. He's like, yeah, Ante!
I mean, there's more memories we could talk about. We could sprinkle them in throughout the episode. You remember freshman year when you convinced us you had a girlfriend?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So, I don't remember exactly how it started, but Ante started to convince us that he had a girlfriend. This wouldn't have been the first time, but it was the first time that it wasn't a celebrity. So we thought, okay, maybe there's some truth to this. So you had a whole elaborate plan. You told us you were taking her to the Marble Room Friday night. I think this was like middle of the week. You said, Friday night, I'm taking her to the Marble Room downtown. I'm paying for everything. We've been texting and all this stuff. And no one wanted to believe it, but they're like, okay, that makes sense. Ante's got a whole plan for this. And then Friday afternoon, it all came crashing down when I realized that I'd previously been in a class with the girl that you were taking out. And I sent her a text and asked if it was true. And she said no.
And then several people started just like adding her on Snapchat and messaging her, yo, are you and Ante going out? Are you and Ante going out? So she started messaging me. She's like, stop telling people. I mean, I only told Jerry and like a few other people. I guess those other people started spreading it amongst everyone. And she texted me. She was like, you need to tell the people to stop or I'm going to report you for harassment, whatever. I mean, I was a freshman, I didn't know that I can get in trouble for saying I'm taking someone out, but I ended up messaging her, telling her that I only told a few people. I didn't intend it to get, all out of hand.
Yeah, Ante was trying to impress his friends, and instead it turned into a whole fiasco. But you
Yeah,
learned your lesson.
I did learn my
So
lesson.
tell the truth.
And then there was a couple other times I forgot what happened, but I like lied a bunch, and Jerry stopped believing me. So then I remember I asked him, I was like, just because I lied doesn't mean you should lose your trust in me.
Which was an all-time quote. You said, I have a picture of it on Snapchat still where I quoted it. We were doing an exercise for English class, and it was just such an iconic quote. Just because I lied doesn't mean you should lose your trust in me. It's the most. It's so hypocritical, but I wasn't even mad. It was just so funny. But yeah, we especially you, just on a whole different thing freshman year. We've came a long way. You've taken a few girls out actually now, right? You
Yeah, I
took one
have.
girl to a Browns game.
Yeah, and then she dumped me for this other guy. And I literally spent like $400 on the Browns tickets.
But was it a good time?
It was a good time. You were actually at the game. Remember, you came down,
Yeah, I came.
and
I came down.
I introduced you to the girl, and then Connor came over. He asked her. He's like, "Yo, are you Auntie's girlfriend?" I'm like, "Oh my god, dude, really? You're gonna do this?"
Yeah, we were sitting on the opposite side of the lower level of my dad's seats, but we came over and snagged a picture.
And then I took one girl to homecoming, so that was fun. And then I remember one of our classmates, his name's MJ. He was just like being a total weirdo. He was just asking all kinds of weird ass questions. I could tell my date was getting all like, weirded out and all.
Yeah.
And then there's one girl that I'm really good friends with that I took to prom, so that was really fun. And then we came home back to my place. We started drinking a bunch and stuff, and then we started slow dancing because there wasn't really any like slow dance music or anything at prom, so we just threw our own little prom after party.
Yeah, our prom was at the Rock Hall. So while it was a fantastic time, it was just a mix of 70s, 80s rock and then just modern day party music.
Oh, and I forgot to mention, I met this girl at Cleveland State, and I recently asked her out. She said yeah, but she's actually going to Europe, I believe tomorrow, and she's coming back like the second week of January. So we're gonna have to do our date thing when she gets back. But
You'll have time to prepare and think
Yeah,
about
I
it.
know.
I have faith in you, Ante.
thanks.
You're quite the gentleman these days.
Yeah, I am. I've changed a lot since freshman year. I'll tell you that.
Speaking of Browns games, we've been to a Browns game together. We
Yeah.
went to
I think it was the one at the end of the season a few years ago against the Bengals was one of them, I think.
That was
it was
the
like freezing cold.
that was the first one.
Yeah.
And then the second one was the home opener against
Against
the
the
Jets.
Jets.
I think it was 2 or 3 years ago at this point. And we should have expected it as Browns fans. But what happened was we were in the lead by 13 with 2.5 minutes left. And we were in the nosebleeds. And my dad has season tickets lower level right by the end zone. And my dad texted us that seats were opening up right next to him. So me and Ante were like, "Oh yeah, 13-point lead. Let's go down and watch the win like as close as we can." So we get to my dad's seats, and the Jets score a touchdown right in front of our faces to cut the lead down to 6. And then I think there was like a pick six or an interception and then another touchdown. And so we just watched the home opener disappear right in front of our eyes.
And then we ended up getting possession back right there at the end. I think there was like 40 seconds left or something. So we had a chance because I think we still had like a timeout remaining also. And we got downfield pretty far. We got, I think, into the Jets' 48-yard line. So we were like over at midfield. And Jacoby Brissett threw an interception to end the game.
In
So it's like you get all the way down there just to throw an interception. Like, come on.
There's another Browns tidbit I'll add in just because at the time of shooting this, it was 1 year ago today. Me and Connor went to the Jaguars game December 10th. It was, last season when we were doing very well. And this guy was sitting in front of my dad's seats that he wasn't a season ticket holder. He just bought the tickets for one game. His name was Ryan. And the way we got introduced to Ryan was a funny story. They were singing God Bless America. Ante, how does God Bless America go?
I don't even remember.
Let that light shine down on me or something like that.
Something like that.
Anyway, we were all hammered, and Ryan turned around because he thought either me or Connor had sung "Lay That Pipe Down for Me." He was baffled, and I was like, no, we didn't. And he was convinced that we did. But what ended up happening is we just befriended him and just got to know him very well the whole game. And we got a picture with him, said we love Ryan. I regret not getting his contact information. But his last advice to us was to stay in school. So, Ryan, I'm sorry. I do believe it's our destiny one day for me and Connor to run into Ryan again and recount that great memory. But it's too good of a one I had to share. There's another funny memory. It wasn't even one memory. It was kind of a running joke. Ante can be a little gullible at times, I would say, especially when it comes to driving.
Oh my God, is this what I'm thinking about?
So, I think it was me, you, and Mark, how it started, and we were leaving a store or something, and my car doors are really annoying with the lock. You have to spam it so many times for just the driver to unlock and then the passengers. So me and Mark get in the car, and the doors are locked unintentionally, and Ante's trying to get in. And so then I did what my dad used to do, which was, just kind of inch forward a little bit, pretend like you're driving away. But it was so funny that over time, it would kind of get a little more extreme. And I think the best drive away one was when we saw a Corvette on the side of the road.
I think I asked if Jerry could take a picture of me, so I gave him my phone. And I walked over to it. He shuts the door, locks, and he just hits the gas and drives off. He went around the block, I think. So I was just standing there. I just sat down waiting for him to hoping that he would come back.
I didn't have your phone. It was mine.
Oh, was it your phone?
Yeah. But the funny part is you said, no, you're going to drive off on me if I get out to take this. And I said, no, it'll just be more comfortable for me to take it from the driver's seat. And then I just hit the gas. That was some good times. It didn't go as bad as the John Adams one did that one time.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad.
Do you remember that? I don't know if you were there.
I think I was.
There was one time we had our friend John Adams with us, and we had never done the driving thing to him. When it started with Ante, it became we all started doing it to each other, depending on who was driving. So, I mean, I was even a victim of it once or twice. But we did it for the first time to John Adams in the Great Northern Mall parking lot by the Best Buy. And he decided to get back at us. He was just going to get in some random lady's car and pretend like he knew her. But he didn't know her. So he got in her car, and we were trying to pick him up, and we couldn't find him. And then he pulled up in this car, and the first thing he said was, I know her. So I assumed he knew her and he was safe. And then this lady, I hadn't met his mom or anything, and since he said he knew her, I assumed it was his mom or something, so I wasn't going to be disrespectful. She just chewed me out for 2 minutes, told me I was a terrible person. She told me that she would beat me up. She said she would beat my ass up 10 times.
You weren't even involved in this. It wasn't even you.
I know, but she just kept saying, I'd beat your ass up. You're lucky. I'm going to call my husband up here to beat your ass up. And at the time, I'm still a minor, too. I was only 16 or 17. And I was just taking all this because I assumed it was his mom or something.
Yeah.
And then he got out of the car and said, I have no idea who that was. And I was like, dude, you could have got kidnapped. What the hell? So that was when we started taking it easy on that joke because it got a little extreme. But yeah, I got chewed out for absolutely no reason at all. I still don't know why that lady was so angry. My theory is that it used to happen to her in high school as not a joke and maybe as bullying. And so she just thought she was being the hero of the day. But, I mean, her son was sitting in the passenger seat, and she was yelling over him into the passenger window. And his face, I couldn't tell if he was supporting her and completely embarrassed. But it was a crazy situation.
Speaking of kidnapping or going missing, when I was I think I was like 7 years old.
Where
my
is
brother,
this
my
going?
brother was like 4 or 5. He went missing. So my mom, she was like running. I think I was in preschool or kindergarten, whatever. So my mom, I was at school. I wasn't home. But my mom went looking for my brother. She couldn't find him. She started freaking out. She started walking all around the block and looked all everywhere in the house. She couldn't find him, so she ended up calling the police. The police all showed up. They started looking, and then more cops showed up with like ARs and stuff. Even the SWAT team
In
showed
your
up.
house?
Yeah, and the SWAT team showed up and everything. So it was like chaos. Eventually, they found my brother behind this dresser drawer, just asleep. And I guess he was looking for his pacifier or something. He crawled back there and fell asleep. So my mom called the police, and they even had the SWAT show up with freaking riot shields and stuff for nothing.
That's insane, but it also reminds me of the time Ignatius got swatted.
Oh, that's right.
You almost got us killed if it was real. So, once again, it all comes back to campus ministry. We're in campus ministry. The thing about campus ministry is the walls are made of glass. And we had received a shooting threat. We had many of them while we were at Ignatius. It was terrible. The thing that was scary about this one is usually the teachers would get an email if it was a drill. And the secretary in there, Mrs. Petters, bless her heart, she didn't get an email. So she was like, okay, I'll go hide in the back office that at least had a wooden door, but it still had a little glass window in the middle. And so at this point, we're under the impression that we're under attack. We don't know what to do. And Ante decides to just go stare out the glass window of the door. And I just remember I grabbed you and I told you to go sit in the corner. And I said, you are not going to get us killed. And then, but that wasn't even the worst part. Our other friend, Luke Thine, he went in the window and then he ducked down immediately and went, oh no. And I thought that was it. And I said, what? And he said, just kidding. That was wild.
But I remember, I think it was when you dragged me back in. I swear I saw like 3-4 officers with ARs running through.
Yeah, we saw. So after it started to seem like it was clear, I was peeking through the window just keep track because we saw a glance of a kid just walking with a backpack and we were like, oh, it must be all clear. And then we were like, wait, is that the kid?
Yeah.
There was no shooter. We thought it was a shooter. And then I'm continuing to peek out the window and then, dude, there was just like I don't know if they were SWAT or FBI or whatever they were, but they were sweeping the hallway with assault rifles. It literally looks like it could have been SEAL Team 6 emerging from the water, but just walking down the halls of St. Ignatius High School.
Yeah. And then we ended up finding out that it was someone like prank called the school and that apparently all throughout like a couple of states around us, there was like a bunch of prank calls going around to like multiple different schools.
Yeah, I think they called every private school in the state.
Did they?
Yeah, and told them there was going to be a shooting or a bomb threat or something.
Yeah.
But it was terrifying. It happened a lot. It happened our English class freshman year. Do you remember?
Right. Yeah.
They had a drill where they had Cleveland police officers dressed as guys in ski masks, and they were just walking around the building looking suspicious.
And the one guy walked into our classroom, and so we were like, what the hell? So then we looked at Miss Colborn, our English teacher, and she like looked up and she saw the guy walk out of the classroom, so she actually proceeded to walk out to try and chase after her.
Yeah, she chased
I was
him
like,
down.
why are you chasing the guy? What if he pulls a gun on you or something? And
that was very brave of
she
her.
went to the teacher who was across the hall, and then they ended up contacting the campus police, and they ended up eventually, they put us in lockdown and all that, and they eventually ended up lifting it and telling us it was a drill, but we thought it was for real.
Well, and not to neglect the 15 minutes we thought it was real, so we went into lockdown, and then these police officers disguised as bad guys started like jiggling the doorknob and pounding on the door. And that was the first time in my life where I was like, yep, this is it.
I know, and I think I had my phone on me, so I text my mom. I'm like, Mom, I think there's a shooter or something. I think we might die. And then I come home later on. My mom said that it was all a drill. So I'm like, bro, yeah. I freaked out for nothing. But
it's a crazy-ass drill.
Yeah.
Because it was a drill for the teachers, too, which almost never happens. Yeah. It was like the teachers had a reporter. They were just testing them, I guess. But that was terrifying, dude. Absolutely terrifying. All right, so as we've discussed, you have a big family heritage in Croatia. One thing is that you usually go back every summer for Croatia.
I do.
I mean, have you been doing that your whole life or just the past few years?
Just the past few years we started going every summer, because we used to go when I was like 6, 7 years old, and then we were actually supposed to go in 2020, I think it was, and that's when COVID hit, so we
Right.
couldn't go. But then after that, we just started going like every summer.
And so what is it like to go there? Because you have family there, correct?
Yeah, I do.
So what is that like?
I mean, it's, obviously it's not like the U.S. There's like the majority of Croatia is all like farmland and all just like, so my grandma and grandpa at their house, they have some animals. They got horses, they got sheep and some little lambs. They have some dogs. They have some other animals. And so usually when I go, I help my grandpa like with like, all the crops and all that, and help him like, feed the animals and all that. And I have a lot of family over there. We'll usually go travel to those different cities like where they all live in to go see them. But it's really beautiful. The best part though, I think it would be the beaches over there. Like it's over there, it's immaculate. And there's a lot of people on the beaches, a lot of good restaurants, a lot of good nightclubs and stuff. As a matter of fact, I was in Croatia this past summer, a few months back, and I went because I'm in this Croatian folklore dance group, and we were invited to go for this big like event where they have all like different groups from around the world, whatever, come to Croatia over there to Zagreb to perform. And then my group, we went on a tour to some of like the bigger like cities and like tourist destinations and stuff. And my favorite place was probably the one city that's like over on the coastline on the beach. It's called Vodice. It was beautiful. So we did a lot of stuff. Obviously we stayed in a hotel, but we went to the beach and the pool every day. And then at night, me and my buddies would go to the nightclub. Man, I was getting all rizzy over there. I was just going up to like a bunch of the girls over there, just talking with them. I even got the one girl, I bought her a drink. So it was good.
There we go, gentleman-like.
Yeah. It's a good experience.
Would you say the food's very different? And not even just in the way of, obviously there's like probably different types of food, but also just like quality of food. Because that's one thing I noticed when I went to Romania is just the quality of food seems better than it is in the United States.
Yeah, it is. It's much better. And they don't put all that like, chemicals and junk that they put in the stuff that we have here. It's like all much healthier. And if you go there, everyone is all in shape and healthy and everything compared to the U.S. The food's much better over there.
Yeah. What's your favorite thing to eat over there, would you say?
Probably this one thing called cevapi. They're like these little like sausage things, and you usually get pita bread with that, and then some grilled onions. It's very good. And you get this like pepper sauce that goes along with it. It's very good. But they also have really good pizza over there. So they got all kinds of good, crazy good food over there.
And then like you mentioned nightclubs and the beach and stuff, but what is like daily activities over there to do when you're not like working on the farm?
Probably mostly like soccer. Over there everyone just loves like soccer. So
Yeah.
that's usually like the one thing that a lot of people mostly do. Or they'll go, to their friends' houses and they'll hang out, smoke, drink. So
Did you ever get to go on any football games when you were over there?
I did not.
No.
I
You should
wanted
do
to.
that one time. That'd be
Yeah,
pretty
I
cool.
know. I think so. The next World Cup is happening. It's going to be here in the United States. And my dad said if Croatia makes it in, and if they play down in Miami, we're going to go down to Miami to watch them, because we have our own place down in Florida, in Naples, which is like an hour and a half, 2-hour drive to Miami from where we're at. So, we thought, why not? Especially if we're like already down there, we might go and watch the game.
Yeah, when the World Cup comes here, it's going to be huge.
It
I
is.
think even if it's not Croatia, I think we should even at least try to go to a U.S. game or
Yeah.
something like that, because that's going to be insane. It's going to be once in a lifetime opportunity.
Yeah.
There was also we've discussed before, I think we should go down to sometimes he plays in Columbus would be the closest one, but we can still see Messi.
I would love to see Messi.
This will be the last few years, but I believe he's the GOAT in terms of soccer/football.
My cousin, actually, he was down in Florida, him and his wife. They actually got to go to one of Messi's games. I think my uncle's I think he was 20 feet away or something. He got to take a picture of Messi right there, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's one of the things that you just need so that you can tell, future grandchildren and stuff. It's not, I used to watch Messi on the TV. It's like, no, I saw Messi in person.
Yeah. Just
like I've seen LeBron play in Cleveland and stuff like that.
I was actually at the game. I think it was my first ever Cavs game, was when the Cavs were playing the Heat. And I think that was when LeBron got ejected for the first time in his career.
Oh, really?
And then I remember my dad was just going off, swearing and stuff. He was, pissed. I was kind of pissed because it's LeBron, because what happened was LeBron, clearly got fouled. He got slapped, and then the ref didn't call it, so LeBron was just, going to plead his case. And he got a tech, and he got ejected.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, I really didn't get to go to many Cavs games while LeBron played in Cleveland.
Yeah.
But 2 years ago, we played the Lakers at home on my birthday, and me and my dad went. And so not only did I get to see the greatest basketball player of all time play in Cleveland, but I also got to see us beat him, which was kind of nice. Got to see LeBron, and we won. Just unfortunately, he wasn't on the team.
Oh.
But yeah, it's things like that. Something I'm going to brag about for the rest of my life is that I had a perfect shot in stadium of Jose Ramirez knocking out.
Oh, yeah. Anderson. Down goes Anderson. Down goes Anderson.
The greatest hammy call of all time.
Wow.
I just remember, I'll never forget the just eruption from the crowd. You instantly saw Jose pop back up with his fists. I loved the bullpen running out because they just looked like the Avengers running out of the portals. And then I just remember I was like, I don't know how big this is going to be. And then I remember I don't usually go on my phone during the game, but I was like, I am curious. And I opened Instagram, every sports page you can imagine. Jose Ramirez just knocked out Tim Anderson. This is the craziest thing that ever happened in baseball, blah, blah, blah. And we lost that game, but I don't even care. That was one of the greatest sports moments I've ever witnessed live.
Speaking of the Guardians, I remember recently, as you may know, we made it to the round. I forgot what's that. ALCS, yeah.
Against the Yankees. Soto just went to the Mets.
I was in Florida watching I think it was Game 3, which is when, Big Christmas hit that big game time 2-run home run.
Do you know that I called that?
Did you?
I was on the phone with my friend Rico, and everyone had kind of lost hope at that point in the game, and Joe Noel stepped up to that plate, and I just said, I was like, he's going to crack this thing out of the park. I'm calling it right now. And they threw the pitch, crack, and dude, you don't even know how loud I was. The best part of that was the Spanish call, because you can't understand what they're saying, and then they just start going, Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad.
But I remember I was in Florida watching the game. We were at our place, and I saw the Giancarlo Stanton solo home run, and I got pissed, so I chucked my phone at the ground, and my dad just started yelling at me, and then he took my phone away, and then we ended up going to dinner, and they actually had the game on at that restaurant we were at, and John Kenzie Noel came up. I was like, this is it, big Christmas, deliver for us. And no joke, he hits that. I got up in the middle of the restaurant, started going nuts. My parents just started screaming at me to sit the fuck down. And then my parents were just pissed at me for the rest of the night. But then the David Fry walk-off happened. I just started celebrating again. My parents were just pissed. I'm just like, bro, why can't you let me have the moment, dude? It was like, this is a big moment, It was the greatest shit ever.
Such a great moment. It was so good that, usually you have to go to the radio call for Hammy to get the good call. Even the TV call was good.
It was.
Big Christmas with the ultimate present under the tree.
And then they just saw the dude dressed as Santa Claus.
Yeah. I mean, that was electric. Another electric moment was, the ALDS Lane Thomas Grand Slam.
Yes.
I was stuck at work. My boss sometimes takes me to the Guardians games. He did not have an extra ticket, so he needed me to work because he wasn't going to be at the store. So I was watching it at our outside register, and we weren't that busy outside, and Lane Thomas hit the grand slam, and I started sprinting around, and I even started sprinting around the store jumping. And I told my coworker Pam, I said, this is going to go down as one of the greatest sports moments of my entire life. And I was correct.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's so fun. I was just celebrating with, random customers just because Cleveland, and it was just such a great time, dude. Obviously, we didn't even get to the World Series or win it, but
I'm so proud of the guys for how far they got,
They got so far, and it was such a fun team to get behind. It's a playoff run I'll never forget.
I know. I think Stephen Vogt got Manager of the Year, right?
He did. First year
rookie
to go
manager,
to the
rookie manager to take a team to
the ALCS.
ALCS.
But yeah, Soto's gone to the Mets, so maybe the American League is ours this year. You'd hope so. But we do have what it takes to get it done. It just depends if we're hot or not on the night.
Sometimes I feel like the guys can be a little bit impatient and rush and just keep swinging and swinging,
Yeah. It's like Josh Naylor kept swinging out of his helmet, but he barely hit anything.
Wow.
And now he had a great regular season, but postseason was not it for him. He has a lot of work to do.
I know. I really wanted us to beat the Yankees so Josh Naylor could do that.
The crybaby.
The crybaby.
We just got them to let that go. So
I know.
To get back on track a little bit, you were talking about Croatia a little bit. You were talking about your what is the Croatian dance group?
Yeah.
Tell us what that is, because you've been doing that Saturdays for years, right?
So pretty much, so I joined the group. I think it was 2016, maybe 2017. So I was like 15 at the time, something like that.
Yeah.
And it was a fun time. I actually recently graduated from the group about a year ago, because usually when you get out of high school to go into college, that's when you graduate the group. So what it is there's all the different regions in Croatia, and each of those regions have their own like traditional like dance and music. So we have all the different costumes for those specific regions, the outfits. So we would learn those dances and the songs on the Croatian instruments, and we would practice that, and then we would go out and have concerts and stuff. We would perform. So it was fun.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And then they gave you a parting gift, didn't they?
I actually got this golden plaque with my name on it, and I believe I got a $3,000 check or something like that to help out at college.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Pretty nice scholarship there. Pretty hefty.
Yep.
One thing we can also touch on, if you watched last episode, I'd hope you did if you're watching this one. If not, it's okay. We touched on the intramurals and how the great Ante, who we called Spida, had some legacy games and moments. So I just wanted to point out and remind everyone, this is the man that was dropping crazy amount of points and made our dynasty, our 1-year dynasty, what it really was. I mean, how did that feel, Ante, that you were just in your bag?
It felt great,
that long?
felt great, and especially since I had the one moment where I wasn't even paying attention to the clock, but there was like 5 seconds, the ball got chucked down at me, and I put it in, and the clock expired, and I was just like, oh shit, I just hit the game winner.
Yeah, that game winner you hit, we were down by 1.
And I think you still have the score sheet saved, right? Somewhere?
I got the score sheet. We've been talking about framing it for 3 years now, so maybe this will be the year I frame it. Maybe we could put it up in Civ. I mean, we've had many great memories. We tried making a movie once. We were gonna call it Ante's House. I forget what the exact plot was gonna be, but I think it was basically gonna be Pennywise-esque. You were just gonna be like kidnapping people and taking them to your house as some crazy guy. We did, like the intro of the movie before it cuts to the title screen, and it was very good. It was us playing hide and seek in the park late at night, and then
there was like a scene with you and Mark like talking something. I don't remember, but
yeah, we were. It was me, you, Mark, and Will Lalek, and so it was me. It was just the basis of it was just me, Mark, and Will playing hide and seek, and while Will was hiding under the slide, you just peeked over the slide, and with wide open eyes, you just said, "Found you!" And then Will let out this crazy scream that I've never heard before. It was so good.
And then we were supposed to keep filming, but I went to Croatia, so they said they like scrapped it. But
Yeah,
hopefully we can like bring it back.
we can think about it in the future, but yeah, we started this at the beginning of the summer. Then Ante left for Croatia for 2 months, and it was based on him at his house. So we were kind of cut short on production there.
Oh yeah, speaking of hanging out, one of my most favorite moments was me, Jerry, and Mark, who was in the last episode. We were hanging out, and so we stopped at a Little Caesars, and Mark was like, I can get us some free pizza. And so we were like, okay, whatever. We didn't think he would actually do it. Dude, he walks out with like 5-6 boxes of pizza or something like that. Or was it 4 boxes? I don't know.
Yeah, Little Caesars just gives out free food at the end of the night, apparently. And we had driven past so many homeless people that night, so we went back to all their spots trying to hand out this pizza, and unfortunately, they had already left.
And then we ended up going to a Subway and exchanging a pizza for a foot-long bread.
Yeah, and then you chucked it at somebody's house on Mark Street.
Yeah, I chucked it at some random house.
And according to Mark, it's still there.
Is it actually?
Yes. In their front yard. I don't think they ever noticed. It's like in the garden beds. But yeah, you and Mark just took a bunch of pizza home. There was a moment where you showed everyone how to break into your house. You remember that?
I do remember that.
So I get home from school one day and I see Ante posted on a Snapchat story. And I go, oh, I'll check this out. And it's Ante crawling onto his second story and just showing people the idea was that he was trying to prove to people that he could get into his house without his key. What he failed to realize is he was showing people how to break in with just a flathead screwdriver and his window. And so I won't get into detail out of your privacy and safety.
I can...
But you were just jiggling a flathead screwdriver until you got that window to pop open and got inside.
Yeah, because the story of it is that me and my brother got home from school. We actually got driven. I forgot who drove us. I don't remember who drove us, but I think it was Luca's friend and his mom. And so we didn't have keys to get in. And I know we had a spare key in our garage, but it wasn't over there. So I guess it was inside the house. So then we decided, I'm going to grab a ladder, climb up on the roof, and crack open the window by shoving some up there. So I used a flathead screwdriver. It was funny.
Yeah. All right, we're at that point of the episode, Ante, where we wrap up. I'm going to ask you the question I ask everyone.
Yeah.
What is the best advice that you can give for our audience here? Just some good advice or words of wisdom for life.
I would say, in life, you're going to have your ups and downs. And when you have those downs, I would say, don't give up. Just keep on trying. You'll learn from your failures. Just whatever you do, don't give up. Just keep on trying, and you'll achieve your dreams.
Amen, brother. You want to plug anything really quick for your Croatian band or anything?
Yeah. So the band, we have an Instagram, we have a Facebook, we have all social media. So it's gonna be, you want to put it up on the screen or? Somehow you'll be able to edit that in.
We'll put it in the description.
Or we can
below.
put it in the description. Yeah, we'll leave the description, the socials. If you guys ever need, having a party, you want a gig, you want to try out some new type of music, we'll leave the link to our socials in the description so you can contact us.
Perfect. All right. I want to thank God for the opportunity to be here. It was a great time. Ladies and gentlemen, Ante Kovacic.
I just want to say thank you for having me.
Of course. You're welcome back anytime.
It was a pleasure.
That was episode 6. We'll see you on the next one. Thank you.
Have a good day.